waited till Ojukwu is dead and started talking and started lying. You can't redeem your legacy with lies.
You lied that most the bullets and most bombs from the Nigerian army hit the palm trees and not human beings. Asaba massacre, people dressed in white.
They're the palm trees.
Women and children in the market square, they are palm trees.
Right?
Your book belongs to the dustbin.
Trash bin.
Nigeria problems today.
Credit to you.
Hey.
Your legacy with the lies.
Today I told it, you live in Britain.
I told it,
and not in your one Nigeria that you murdered for,
killed for. Ego genocide. Ego Holocaust.
Africa
First bandits.
When was the last time you visited your village? You are the first bandit Nigeria ever produced. Decisions you made destroyed Nigeria.
Okay.
Until today, General Yakubu Gowon, Nigeria, first bandit. You lied about our Buria Accord.
You were suffering malaria and did not understand what was discussed.
Everything else in your book must be all lies.
When you get to heaven, if you ever get there, God will ask you why you lied. I told it.
Old man, God kept you alive for a reason, but you have failed to repent.
The hottest part of hellfire has been prepared for you.
He said,
no peace and happiness for you.
Not at all.
Amen.
Amen.
Ojukwu will be fanning your hellfire,
Adding fuel to firewood.
Nigeria.
First bandit. I saw my people dressed in white are
meanwhile, let's pay attention to
Nigeria.
as you're welcome.
2
We have
million children
remaining one person.
starve to die.
Remaining one person so that you can get it
a palm tree.
what you have. But meanwhile, while we wait for the fourth person, let's
God
pay
kept
attention
you
to
alive
this
for a
person.
reason, but you have failed to repent.
General Yakubu Gowon,
You cannot redeem
your legacy with lies.
Ojukwu will be fanning your hellfire.
Adding fuel to firewood.
Asaba people,
Palm trees.
Nigeria,
First bandits.
you will live to see
Nigeria separates. Spirit of 2 million children starved to death. At work.
our palm trees.
A Buria called malaria. Africa first bandits.
Read my lips, Igbos must be free worldwide before your eyes. Amen.
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 You people go about, he's a scammer. We gave him money for the first fund. All the idiots. Not one dime to the first fund. The whole of America, the whole of America did not contribute up to $3,000, which is not up to the price of ticket. If I want to fly from here to Asia, the whole thing they claim they contributed in the whole of America. It was you see, idiot. Oh, the first fund. How much did you contribute? Nothing. I talked about it to remind you that a time like this is coming, when Fulani will be in our land and will not have arms to defend our land. You think the Fulanis are stupid? They know there are no arms. That's why they have come. And instead of us to discuss them and handle them, they send some of you saboteurs to be talking nonsense. Oh, Nnamdi Kanu, he is a scammer, he embezzled. And I'm asking you, who did I scam? Where? When? You can't tell me. Because you're lying. Who would have helped you to be spreading the gossip? All those Fulefus in Abuja and Lagos that never contributed one dime to IPOB. Our outgoing every blessed month from IPOB account in Germany every month, we spend $108,000 a month. I'm not going to tell you what we are doing with it. Because if I tell you, you're going to tell your friends. In Sokoto, all of you criminals, all of you idiots, every fool who come talking rubbish. That useless pig called Asare Dokobo that I gave money to, from inside the prison, because he has no shame. All of you will understand. From inside the prison, I gave that idiot 20 million naira. I was in prison. He was so poor. I authorized.
All right. Welcome our sisters. I think we are running a bit late. Yeah, welcome to the program. Today is the 30th day of May in the year of our Lord 2026. And today is a day mapped out to remember our fallen heroes and heroine, and at the same time to remember those that are in pain, those that are in prison, those that are also hospitalized because of the journey we have all embarked on to restore the glory of our fatherland. And we have our lovely sisters. I think without overflogging issues, I'm going to be ushering you into this landmark program, which is Biafran genocide, and of which we'll begin to highlight what I call intro, which is going to accompany with the introduction of the individuals that are here to teach us, and at the same time a brief history of or rather a brief introduction of what we have today. So let's start by, I think, our sister Chizzy. You are there. Can we hear from you?
Good afternoon, my beloved brothers and sisters. This is Sister Chizzy, and today, as we usually do, but in a special way, we want to remember a part of our genocide, a part of our story that has been told, but was never told the way it should. And that part of our story has to do with the Biafran women. The Biafran genocide happened between July 67 to January 70. But today, as we remember the victims of this genocide, I want us to remember in a special way the human cost of this particular civil war, as the Nigerian government would like to call it. We refer in a special way to the mass deaths, starvation, displacement, sufferings experienced by the Biafran women and children. A country where its women are not safe is totally a failed nation. And that country can be described or defined as an unsafe country. Mazi Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu declared the Independent Republic of Biafra for some reasons. To protect the Eastern Nigeria. What is he protecting? He's protecting the human resources. When we talk about human resources, we talk about women, we talk about children, the future. He declared the Independent Republic of Biafra to respond to the massacre of Ndi Igbo in the northern side of Nigeria and every other part of Nigeria as well. He declared it to demand the security and political autonomy of our people. Biafran women are the heroine of their lives, and they are as well the victims. The Civil War presented us with a lot of responsibilities, and as women, we were the unseen heroes. All of a sudden, the Biafran women found themselves to be the ones caring for the family. They were the head of the family. They were the one providing for the need in difficult conditions. They were the ones nursing the wounds of our men, and they were the ones preserving the hope and the continuity of our lives. Biafran women were the ones taking care of our children. All of us remember the question about the issue about Kwashoko. Practically, our children were dying before our eyes. There was a lot of disease outbreak. Education was interrupted. And above all, Biafran women were put through a moment of trauma. Our sacredness were violated. Biafran women came out both during and after that war, broken, traumatized, hurt. But even at that, they keep holding the faith tight, silently. They keep speaking about the value of human dignity. And that is why today we want to awaken your spirit. We want to awaken your sensitivity. We want to awaken that which makes you a person by pushing out the important values of human dignity, by presenting how it is necessary for the government to protect the life of individuals during conflict, to emphasize on the need of reconciliation, but above all, reconciliation with justice, to emphasize on the need for all international communities to speak out when human life is at stake. Of course, as women and as Biafran women, strong as we are, we could be described as a bag of tea. You know, when you put the tea in a hot drink, you can never know its potential until it starts to develop, to expand in the hot water. We never knew we were strong until the event of Biafra came. We became the strength of our people. We became the silent fountain where our people constantly came to take strength and to derive the reason for fighting again. We saw our young adolescent children being taken to war. We encouraged them. We made them men before they could grow up. Our daughters were raped. We saw their broken tears. We stood by them silently, enduring the pain with the hope of a future that right inside our hearts, we know that it is quite a little bit shallow at that moment. We endured it. We saw our children dying of kwashoko. We invented using the cassava leaves to give them a little bit of nutrients, vitamins. And even at that, they died before our eyes. I wouldn't go further, but I will give the mic to my sisters so that they can continue from where I am. So as you are listening to us, please take your chair, open your heart to humanity, and listen to the voice of the Biafran women. We are presenting today what a lot of our women have gone through and what a lot of our women are still going through. Thank you, Mazi.
All right. Thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. As some of you are joining us on Facebook, the voice you are hearing is the voice of our women. Those are the incarnation of women that fought in 1929 and also still standing. We have brave women as it stands now. That is why we need to allow them to continue to showcase what they have. And we have four of them here today. Leonard, thank you very much, our Reverend Sister, for wonderful introduction and at the same time highlight on what we have experienced. And today, for those of you that are just joining us, today is the 30th May. We are remembering our fallen heroes and heroines. And across the nook and cranny of the universe, our people are standing up today, courtesy of Mazen Nnamdi Khan, who rekindled this flame that we must remember those that fought for us. Let's go to our lovely sister, Igbo Defense. Please, Mike is yours. Yes.
Sister, that was quite an introduction. Very emotive. Thank you so much. I'm Igbo Defense. I'm based, we're supposed to introduce where we're based in the UK, if anyone needs to know. And for today, I'll be discussing primarily the role of Biafran women, how they participated and helped the war effort. So I don't think there's much else to say. Sister Chizzy said it all in terms of the introduction. So the focus is on the Biafran women and children, just because their history is sometimes overlooked. That's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, our sister, for the brief introduction. They are working together, and I believe they have in the meantime, they will be going to the main body of the whole topic today. Let's go to our sister Asadema. You're welcome, our sister.
All right, are we supposed to go on? I'm not sure. Was that supposed to
yes
my role?
Yes, introduction, like what you just told us, it's also part of it to tell us where you reside, and you have also introduced us your name. I think briefly, like you said, our sister must have done the most important part of it, what you people are here gathered today to showcase. So Asadema, you're welcome, our sister.
Good evening.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Asadema, and I live in the UK. My topic, my part is going to be, I'm going to be talking about Biafran women. While there's another topic, Biafran women.
All right.
My topic is going to be.
Okay. We are just we're just on the introductory part. When it's come to the.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
All right, go on.
So I'm going to be talking about Biafran women. That is their identity, their character, their spirit, their value, not their work or what they did. So we're going to be honoring them today. The very soul of our nation. So, yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, our sister. Without wasting time, let's go to the last but not the least. Our lovely sister Alvin. You're welcome to my platform.
Okay. Good evening, all.
No.
So my name is Alvin, as I'm known on TikTok. My real name is Ogechu. I stay here in Spain, Barcelona. As we are remembering our heroes and heroine today, as Biafran Day, we gathered here this evening. My own main topic today to talk about is about the Biafran children, what the Biafran children went through during the Biafran War. So that's my own topic today.
No, our sister. Now I think we have had it all. Like I said, we were going to be very, very concise tonight especially to get in stock what we have. Let's begin. I still give it again to our lovely Reverend Sister. Please, this is the main part, which is what we have been waiting for, to usher in what you have prepared for, I believe. And I think that should be a time to ask questions. I don't know whether it's also in the agenda, our sisters. Is there any time
yes,
to?
Please.
All right, that should be at the end of the. Okay.
Yeah, each and every one of us. I think I'm the last speaker. So.
Okay. Then go on now. I think go on. Go on. Our sister, you can go on, and since you.
Is it me?
Yeah, let's answer them more than myself.
Okay, because we are doing history first. Like short history about Biafra.
That's what Mr. Chiz is done, so it's part of the introduction.
Oh.
Did you want? You can add some more if you want to.
So you can add more because that's what we discussed. Anyway, let me go on. Well, if my time is up, just stop me. Asadema, you have unlimited time. Oh, okay. Do I? Thank you.
Yeah.
But Mansi Meti said we have limited time.
Yeah, just
okay. Let me continue.
Go on.
Okay. I'm going to try and remove the parts that Chizzy has already said now. Biafra was declared in 1967, as Sister Chizzy has already said.
Hello. Did you know only for...
Sorry, guys. Please, it's very important, yeah? No, don't tell me anything. It's very important. So just give me 30 seconds.
It's okay. It's the role of a woman. Shall I go on to mine?
All right, go on. Okay, Igbo defense, coming.
No, it's quieting down. Let me continue.
Okay, go on.
Sorry. So yeah, leading to a bitter war lasted until 1970. Significantly, that was the year Mazin Abdikan was born. The beginning of the war, 1967. Our great leader, our great voice, was born that same year, the year the war started. Although he was only an infant then, but his life and mission are deeply linked to our history. You know, if you think about the year he was born, that was the year the war started. Before he was unlawfully kidnapped in Kenya. People repeatedly asked him questions about Biafra boundaries. That was on Radio Biafra. I heard all that. And he answered clearly that Biafra is wherever you see women wearing a traditional two-piece wrapper. That's a blouse, a long wrapper round the waist, and a shorter one tied on top. He said any ethnic group, people who dress in this way fully a part of Biafra. That was quite famous then when he made this announcement. Our history is also written in the courage of a woman like Matilda from Owerri, who famously declared, even if I have a baby in my tummy, I will fight. We'll never go back to Nigeria. Her word sums up the fearless spirit that carried us through those dark years. This remained our truth, our strength, and our identity. I'm sure we must have seen that video of that young woman when she said that during the Biafran War. I think I'm going to stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Asadema. So, in terms of the roles that the Biafran women played, there were essential roles. They cared for families, displaced people, communities affected by war. They were also active participants in the military operations that assisted with things like intelligence gathering, healthcare services, and economic survival efforts. At the start of the war, they were officially prohibited from joining the military. However, some of the women actually ignored these restrictions. Some disguised themselves. Some disguised themselves as men in order to enlist, whilst all the others openly joined the armed forces as women. So what I've done is I've categorized their roles into 5 main areas. So number 1 is combat and military roles. They took part in combat roles despite traditional beliefs that women should only provide support. They joined infantry units, commandos, militias, civil defense groups, and intelligence units. They experienced the same hardship as the male soldiers, including... okay, you didn't finish. Did you want to carry on, Asadema?
No.
Started.
Oh,
Let me finish.
I'll finish after you. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, go on.
I do apologize. I got a text. Okay. Where was I? They experienced the same hardship as male soldiers, including their harsh camp conditions, imprisonment, injuries, and death. One woman explained that she joined the Biafran infantry after the Nigerian air raids on her life to her husband and 2 children in 1968. Following the destructions of her family, she decided to fight for Biafra. She completed 7 days of military training before being deployed to the Enugu sector, where she then served until the war ended. It's important to note that the infantry soldiers formed the backbone of the Biafran defense system. Their duties were extremely dangerous because they fought directly on the front lines, and many women courageously accepted these responsibilities. Young women and girls also joined commando units that specialized in guerrilla warfare, ambushes, surprise attacks, and hit-and-run operations against the Nigerian forces. An example, I can't pronounce his name, so I apologize. Odo Idoko. I'm almost ashamed as a Biafran. Anyway, she was from Enugu State. She joined the 18th Battalion of the Biafran Army in 1968 at the age of 26. She disguised herself as a boy during the training and later participated in several military operations.
Wow.
She recalled...
That's interesting. I've never heard before. Go on. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the evidence. If you guys want, I can send you the research.
It's okay. It's okay. Go on. It's okay. Yeah. Yes.
So she recalled one of her success was she helped the ambush of a Nigerian military convoy near Onitsha, where the Nigerian forces caused heavy casualties to the enemy. So the second part of their role is that they formed various organizations to assist with the war efforts. I'll just list some examples of these organizations. Sorry, it's so hot. Okay. In May 1969, they formed what's called the Biafran Women Front. It was an organization that demanded the right for the women to defend their homeland and actively supported military and frontline operation. If you remember, I told you at the beginning that they were prohibited, they were stopped from joining. So they actually formed an organization and demanded it as a right to join. Another organization was the Biafran Amazons. These were elite all-women military combat unit. Many of them were students, and they underwent rigorous military camp training. They learned how to handle heavy weaponry, perform tactical drills, and fought directly on the battlefields alongside the men. Another organization that was formed was the Biafra Civil Defense Militia, the Women's Wing. So they have the men wing, the main one, but they also had the Women's Wing. This was formed as early as August 1967 in Enugu. And this was a paramilitary wing that drafted young women into strict military training exercises. They were organized to prepare the civilian population for active combat readiness, weapon handling, and localized civil defense. There were other organizations, but I will deal with some of those in the other roles. So the third area they had a role in was in intelligence and espionage. Sorry, give me 2 seconds. I just need to. My mouth is dry.
All right.
I drink some water.
All right. Okay. While our sister take a little break to have a cup of water. All right. Go.
Sorry. So intelligence and espionage was the third thing. So many Biafran women served as spies and scouts. They formed an organization called the Propaganda and Directorate of Intelligence Units. It was an organized underground espionage rings. As the women could blend in more easily, they disguised as market women or traders. They crossed the enemy lines to gather information about Nigerian troop movements, map out opposing weapon installations, and reported back to the Biafran military commanders. Okay, so that was one of them, another organization that they formed, but they used it for intelligence and espionage. The fourth area, or part of their role, was economic survival. Because of the severe blockades and starvation, women became responsible for sustaining the wartime economy. Similar to the espionage rings, they also formed the Afia Attack trade network. Excuse me. This was highly structured, organic economic network. Groups of Biafran women would organize a cross-border trade. They risked their lives to enter hostile territory to secure food and medicines. They transported the food and supplies back into Biafran territory to help starving communities survive. This network, again another organization, but a network, served as the single largest driver of Biafra internally generated revenue. So this thing they were doing was what was driving the Biafran economy during the war. Excuse me. And it also helped with civilian survival during when there was a total blockade. You know, I think the blockades happened in sections. At some point, it was partial blockade, and then it went to total blockade. So the Biafran women also produced and traded goods such as local gin, gari, and other necessities in order to provide food and income for their communities. In some cases, they were selling their own jewelry just to try and make ends meet. It's important to note that the starvation experienced during the Biafran War was extremely severe and had been described as being 3 times worse than the starvation levels experienced during the World War II. And the fifth and final areas that their roles was in healthcare and humanitarian support. So the women played a major role in healthcare and relief work throughout the war. Many worked as nurses, doctors, caregivers, and volunteers in hospitals, refugee camps. In hospitals, refugee camps, and relief centers. They cared for wounded soldiers as well as starving and displaced children. And now I've got another area, but I don't know if it's going to be covered by somebody else. So I don't know whether to continue. I'll continue. If it's covered by somebody else, then please forgive me that we can repeat it.
Go on.
So, what are the human costs and long-term effects of the Biafran women's involvement? So we know that there was over 6 million deaths. Can we please agree on the 6 million? Because I keep hearing different quotes. Some people say 3 million, some people say 5 million. Let's agree at figures so that we uniformly say the amount that was lost. And many of that death, or unaliving, was caused by starvation and disease. Women and children suffered the most severe consequences. Research showed that girls who experienced the war during the adolescent years faced long-term physical, educational, and economic difficulties. On average, women exposed to the war during their teenage years were shorter in height, so even affected their height. They were less likely to complete secondary education, that's obvious, there were no schools, and they were more likely to face health challenges later on in life. So just by merely being there during the war, you will experience, difficulties in your health. Studies also found that the children experience higher rates of Studies found that their children experience higher rates of infant mortality, malnutrition, and growth stunting. Many women exposed to the war were less likely to access prenatal care and safe childbirth services. Some medical research on Biafran survivors also found there was an increased risk of obesity. Sorry, there was an echo. There was an increase. Sorry, is my time up?
No, go on. Just wrap it up.
Okay.
I think you have unlimited time, just like our sister said. Today is your day.
Okay.
Yes, I don't need to interrupt you. Yes, go on.
All right. So the medical research on the Biafran women survivors found they had an increased risk of obesity, diabetes, and hypertension, partly linked to the severe malnutrition experienced in childhood and infancy during the war. In conclusion, the role that the Biafran women played during the war demonstrates remarkable courage, resilience, patriotism, and determination. They contributed not only as caregivers, but also as soldiers, spies, economic providers, and healthcare workers. Their sacrifices and efforts helped sustain Biafra throughout the conflict. The experiences of the Biafran woman remain an important example of strength, endurance, and survival during one of the most devastating wars in African history. That's my part. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, our sister, for that. Who is the next? I think as you organized it. Our sister, who is the next? Reverend.
It's me, Alvin.
All right. Okay, Connie,
Okay.
our sister, yes.
Good evening.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay, I'm going to talk about what Biafran children passed through during the war. So, as documented here, they said that there are many documented accounts of what happened to Biafran children during the Nigerian Civil War, also called the Nigerian Biafran War. Most of the historical records focuses on children because they were among the most severe affected civilians, like starvation and malnutrition. One of the most widely documented aspects of the war was the mass starvation of Biafran civilians after the region was blockaded. Images of several malnourished children suffering from kwashiorkor were broadcast around the world, and because some of the most recognized images of the conflict, medical teams worked in Biafra reported treating thousands of children suffering from protein malnutrition and other related diseases. Deaths among the children. Estimates of civilian deaths vary widely, but historians generally agree that hundreds of thousands and possible over a million Biafran civilians died during the war. Many from famine rather than direct combat. Children made up a large proportion of the victims. Evacuation and rescue efforts. Humanitarian organizations, churches, and relief agencies organized a massive airlift of food and medicine into Biafra. Thousands of children were also evacuated to countries such as Gabon, Côte d'Ivoire, and Saint Tome to escape starvation and fighting. One scholarly study notes that roughly 4,000 children were evacuated through international humanitarian efforts and later repatriated after the war. Many of the children became orphans. Many children lost one or both parents during the conflict. Others became refugees within Biafra or were separated from their families during evacuations. After the war ended in January 1970, humanitarian organizations were involved in locating relatives, reuniting families, and also displaced children returned home. A significant historical and political debate remains over whether the suffering of Biafran civilians, including the starvation of children, constituted genocide. Some scholars, activists, and survivors argue that the blockage and starvation policies amounted to genocidal acts. Others maintain that while the humanitarian catastrophe was immense, the illegal definition of genocide has not been conclusively established. This remains a contest subject among historians and legal scholars. And we know that there are many personal testimonies, people who even testified on that children's salvation. Some of them are grown, some of them are fathers now, some of them are grandfathers, grandmothers and mothers. We have personal testimonies, people that testify what happened during that time to children. So as we go on, we'll continue bringing them out one after the other, the testimonies.
There, sister. Thank you very much for the insight. Who is next?
Asa, go on.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
So is Biafran women who they were, before the war, in our society, wife, dressmakers, homemakers, they were loved, well loved, they were respected, okay? But they were narrowly defined by these roles, these labels. We understood women in Biafra land as gentle, caring, nurturers, but we did not yet know the full depth and greatness inside Biafran women until the genocide, came. Although the genocide stripped away all this gentleness and femininity of Biafran women, but it brought out something in them. That's this resilience. Not that they weren't resilient before the genocide, but because of this genocide, they had to stand up then and take over the roles of men, their husbands, their fathers, uncles, male relatives, because they were no longer available to perform the traditional roles they used to perform. So this resilient spirit and the softness had to leave. So they were women of extraordinary honor and in-depth humanity, even in the middle of that starvation and pain. Their hearts remained filled and full with compassion. Their hearts remained full with compassion. They never lost the sense of their dignity. I'm sure we must have heard from other people, but especially from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if I'm correct, on Radio Biafra, when he said, in numerous occasions, when he said in the past, it's very difficult to have a relationship with an Igbo woman, a Biafran woman, that whenever they're able to have a relationship with a Biafran woman, they feel they've won lottery. This war removed this genocidal war removed all that, it stripped all that away. Because of a lot of other things that happened to them, that it took away that softness, but the compassion remained. They understood humanity, they understand that life matters. They understand that people deserve respect. They understand that kindness is all that matters, that kindness would heal. They understand the importance of kindness in the midst of all the calamities. There were women who carried that love, respect for everybody, their culture and their God, even when everything around them was falling apart. They held everything together. There were also women who were fearless. They were women of fearlessness and unbreakable courage. The courage to them was not just carrying weapon and fighting in the battle, although some of them did. Their courage was in standing tall when everything was broken. Okay? In truth and in power, they walked through dangers with fear, refusing to be defeated and silenced. They were bold, fierce, and unshakable. Earlier, the lady who said even if she had a baby in her tummy, that she would still fight. we will never ever go back to Nigeria. So these Biafran women, they were this fearless and resilient. They fought injustice for their children, for their people's future. They paved courage in the spirit, and the women's heart can never I think I missed something there. So they were women of exceptional wisdom.
Our sister, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Noise is coming from your background. I don't know whether you can minimize it a bit. I mean, it's the people on the Facebook are the one that are writing. They say I should minimize the environment, please. Or maybe if you are not in a better, environment, maybe you can excuse to other places. I think I have like 2-3 people that are writing here. I don't know. Our sister, can you speak now? Let's see whether it's better.
I'm really sorry. I don't know. Usually, I'm not a noisy person. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. But okay, it's okay. Go on.
Somebody was actually making a child was here.
For
some reason.
Okay. I was okay. Or if it's a child, go on. Okay, go on. I didn't know.
No, it usually don't happen. I'm usually organized. Anyway, let me continue.
All right, go on. Yes, go on.
It's okay.
Yeah, go on.
They were women of exceptional wisdom and intelligence. They were thoughtful. They were very observant. They understood situation. That the genocide. The genocidal war was not something. Although Ojukwu declared it, but it wasn't planned. If you know what I mean. But they stood. There were women who saw everything, understood everything. They used their wisdom to keep their own people safe and the ones they could keep alive. I'm talking about Biafran women character, who they were or who they are. So they were women of natural leadership and fairness, good judgment. They carried inside them the sense of justice, the sense of right and wrong. Their culture, their tradition was very important to them, because women are the ones who carry the culture, if you will, because women are the ones who stay with children, because they are the ones usually who pass it on. The Biafran genocide really did us a lot of damage, because a lot happened. Some of them people think it's just rumor because it's unconfirmed. People say it's unfounded rumor. Some people say it happened because of what happened with other men who are from the other part of the country. What happened, or what could have happened, or what happened. Some of them, women, Biafran women will not come out and tell you that somebody jumped on them.
Yes.
So a lot of things happened. Yeah. So they were women of immense dignity. Even when they were hungry, tired, grieving, they still carried themselves with grace and honor. They spoke with clarity, confidence, and power. They knew their worth. Even today, if you look at everything that is happening, things have changed a lot. Nigeria has dealt with us. Nigeria is still dealing with us today. But when you speak to other people from other places, I'm deliberately not mentioning names here. It's not because I don't know the names to mention. But when you speak to people from other places that are not Biafrans, within them, in the secret places, they will tell you how dignified Biafran women still are. They are still wanted. Things have changed, I'll continue to say, but yeah. Bundling strength, creativity, and endurance. That endurance, I hesitate to add it, but they do carry that. They were resilient, hardworking, and determined. They did not know how to give up. Yes. Biafran women do not quit. they don't quit. When there was nothing, they created something. Even today, they still do. Today, that spirit has not gone completely. It's still alive. That spirit of carrying on, the spirit of not quitting, is still alive today. So they carry heavy burden, which is still alive today. During the genocide, deep sorrow, great responsibility, yet they never broke. They were never broke and turned bitter. They remained hopeful, positive, and life-giving. Of course, they continue to give life, really. They continue to give life in the face of death. That was what happened during that genocide, because they were still giving birth. I don't know, can we imagine that? Of course, that's when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was born, wasn't it? He was born during the war. Women were still giving life. They still brought life to this world. They still brought Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That's how resilient Biafran women are. That's how strong Biafran women are. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came during that war. This is the character of a Biafran woman. Look at the kind of human being we produced. Is it they or we produced? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They guarded our values, our beliefs, and our way of life with great care, passing them down to the children so that our people would not be lost or forgotten. They were the living memory of our nation and keepers of our soul. Our great, I'll say more later. Let me undo. I'm sorry about the noise earlier.
All right, it's okay. Thank you very much, our sister. I think I can understand. Once it has to do with children, we cannot avoid it. It is part of also that responsibility that people are also telling us here. In the face of adversity, in the face of things getting hard, taking care of children at the same time, helping to make sure the men achieve their aim, and of which, like you just rightly said at the end, that we still have women who also share that value. We have never lost it completely, and that is why that is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saw, and started trying to rekindle that spirit again, where our women can be able to rise up to help. And I think just like many of you have been witnessing on this social media platform, you never get down, you never get tired upon bully, upon insult, yet you still stand their ground, even going to their platform to ask them questions. Rather, they are the ones that are running away, blocking people from asking them. So that spirit, I agree with you, is still on. Now, who's next to come in? All right, go on, our sister.
So, I'm to talk about the Biafran women after the genocide. We came out of that genocide with a lot of suffering. We were more resilient, and we had the strength to rebuild. Sometimes when we talk about we were given 20 naira, our men will say we were given 20 naira, and we built empires. Women were there to make that empires come true. You cannot talk about those empires without mentioning the Biafran women, because they were the ones who, even though they were broken, they stood beside the few survivors and made sure that our land came back to life. Now, before I go further to the loss, the poverty, the displacement, the social disruption, the moral trauma, I just want us to remember that we came out with at least losing one member of our family. Yes, just think about it. I know the younger generation, the Gen Z generation, will not know about this. But if you can ask your parents, there's always somebody in your family that died during the war. If not because of sickness, because there was a disease outbreak, if not because the person went to war and never came back. Some families had 2-3 people that went to war and they never came back. It might be children that died of kwashiorkor. Some of our children survived kwashiorkor, but majority of those who had that died out of that. Now, the Biafran woman is that woman that lost children, husbands, parents, and in some places, almost the entire community. Think about the emotional trauma it brings. To know that people you've grown up to love, you've grown up to sacrifice for, you've grown up to live for, you just lost them out of somebody's selfish interest. A lot of Biafran women were widows after the war, devastated. The husband they saw, healthy, that went for war, never came back. And all their hopes of, seeing their husband starting a new life afresh just ended. They had to start again, to fight, to cultivate, to work hard for their children. This is something we don't need to kind of forget. We have to remember it. This is what we are remembering today. When we talk about the economic hardship, Biafran women after the war went into petty trading. Just as one of my sisters highlighted previously. They started buying. There was a time during the war, the Biafran women invented even trade by barter because they don't have money to circulate, to buy. So you use what you have and get what you want. If I have salt and you have oil, you give me small oil and I'll give you small salt. Salt was very costly then. It was hard to get salt. Think about it. They were working hard to make sure that the society, their generation, can survive this particular hard moment. I remember that war, there was no time, no established time or date of when it will finish. It was something we went in unprepared. And we all stood strong, trying to make sure that the generation continues. But the worst one is the psychological trauma. I cannot forget the story my mom told me once about this Nigerian soldiers that invade the family. My mom is from a royal family, and that should be one of the prestigious and well-respected families. But the Nigerian soldiers will invade that particular family. And as they're invading, the mothers will need to hide their young daughters. They will hide their young daughters so that these soldiers will not grab them. They hid their daughters. There's something I'm like, nka. The Igbos we know, this traditional thing made of ruffles, they put the children, they put the clothes on it, hid them. Because as a Biafran woman, you are exceptionally beautiful. You are endowed. You are someone, a woman that every man will go extra miles to get. And these Nigerian soldiers could not stand the beauty of our adolescent daughters. I'm talking of adolescents. They will invade their sacredness and bring them to nothing. Think about a young girl that has gone through the trauma of grief, what her life will be. And listen, many of these young ladies became pregnant for men they don't know, men that are not of their tribe, men that has no respect for their womanhood. That is the Biafran woman that came out of the war. A broken woman. A woman that had to stand for things she believed in, even though the society has failed her. There is a whole list of undocumented suffering that we've been through as women. A lot of our women have been silent. Some died with that silence. Because if you are talking about being raped, at the heart of that rape, you remain pregnant, the question would be, who is the father of the child? And according to our tradition, how can you present a child that is not from the daughter, the father? So that is the experience of a lot of our women. They were raped. They had to be silent. They did not speak about it. Many of our young ladies, I have an auntie that was raped during that war time. She gave birth to a son. So I'm bringing life experience. A son. Think about it. As a young woman, you have desire, you have projects, goals you want to achieve in life. You have things you want to be. You have your ideal man you want to marry. And all of a sudden, a Nigerian soldier full of akwerikwata will now grape you and leave a mark of indecency on your life. This is so heartbroken. That is the experience of almost all of our Biafran women. They were protecting the community, and even at that time, they were being violated. And this story of our women is being marginalized. It's been politically marginalized. I can't remember somebody telling me about a Yoruba man speaking about the Biafran genocide. You know, never have we been able to been given the opportunity to speak about our experience. This is so disheartening. How can you go through difficulty? How can you go through pain? And you're not given the opportunity to speak about your pain. All the time, somebody is talking about my pain. Somebody that did not know my sleepless night. Somebody that did not know what I have gone through. We have the courage to come and tell me my story. Before we started this research, we wanted to get something about Biafran women. That was when we discovered that no research has been done about us. Nothing concrete has been made. There are just few things we got. And I thank my sisters for making use of those information. Is it not clear that we as Biafran women are being marginalized in this particular story? That is why we decided to make our voices heard. We want to speak out. We want to tell the world and to everyone that cares to listen that we are alive, and we want to give voice to those women who stood up for our land in difficult moments. A Biafran woman today is a woman of courage. Is a woman of great endurance. A woman that has faith in survival and hope. A woman that demands respect. Yes, we demand respect because we are the custodian of our land. We are the one that give life to the future generation. And that is why when we saw Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, come out to speak about protecting our land, to speak about giving hope, building a new nation, giving rise to what has been of the past. We can't but support him because he's giving voice to each and every one of us. The fact that we are celebrating 30th May today is because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader and the founder of the indigenous people of Biafra, made it possible. Mm-hmm. He was the voice. He is the voice, and he will continue to be the voice. We owe him our respect. We owe him our love, and we owe him our support. Because whatever is happening to Nigeria today, he has seen it before. He spoke about it. He wasn't silent. Because he cares about our land. He cares about the protection of our women and the protection of our children. A nation without women and children is a dead nation. And that is why we are kind of worried after seeing men of great importance and honor who stood up in the past during the war to protect the women and children of our land. We are concerned about the generation of men we see today. Men who don't have the courage to show their faces. Rather, they are strong in bullying women and children. Men who present a level of joblessness, thuggery in the name of freedom fighting. Men who spend time on social media bullying women and children. That is the story of today. That is the shame of today. That is a pause we carry about. Are we worried as women? Yes, we are worried. What can we do to solve this situation? We can through educating our people, just as we are doing today. Awakening your sense has been true in the past. Because if you understand what Biafra is about, you wouldn't in your life or in your next life, if there is one, abuse a Biafran woman, bully a Biafran woman, or hurt a Biafran woman. Mazimeto, I'll stop here. We will be happy if people have questions to ask us. They'll be free to come up and ask their questions. If you have any story you've heard from your mother about the Biafran genocide, feel free also to request and come up. Share it with us. Thank you, Maz.
All right. Thank you, our sister. The lovely sister that has spoken. I hope no one is missing anything. The four panelists that are here on the assessment you've had, preparation you've also studied, and I think is one of its kind. We've never had this kind of arrangement before among our women. Just like our sister said at the end, we don't bully them. These are the substances we would have missed if we just double into propaganda, blackmailing. Some of them that are blackmailing these women cannot stand and just give a speech. It's not possible. They cannot even stand to respond to any question being thrown at them. We need everybody, yes. But we cannot, because they are not part of you, carrying flag or wearing beret, shouting, "Oh, hey, Biafra," before you know that they have something to offer. And for many of you that did not know, I stumbled upon a program today, Mazen Namdekan. I've accused him before of embezzling defense fund. I didn't know. And the same pattern, the same tactics. If you listen to briefly, this is what I was playing. He was asking them, come out with a proof if you know that I have embezzled money. If you prove it, I will resign. And I'm still asking them that question today. Many of you that are attacking this man, I'm sure you are out today to wave flag, to shout Biafran fallen heroes and heroines. Who started it? Who reminded her that this is important that we must do? The same man that he said have done nothing. The same man that he said he have never achieved anything. But one of his projects took you out today. One of the projects made it to be posting about 30th May today. And we must honor them in any different ways. And it's a very landmark history made by Mike Arnold. If you see the men, arrays of men that gathered there, you know that you don't need to, start fighting one another. They spoke very well. If you see them, after you go and watch them, the man, he's not even a Biafran. And today I begin to understand. I understood the clear history of what happened to Bruce Merrock, how it happened. So every knowledge is important for us to gain. Like our sister have said, I believe our sisters, you have ushered it what you have, but we're also requesting those on the comment section, like our Reverend sister said, if you have experience you want to share, you can also come up to share it. If you also have a question to ask them, and if you felt that what they have educated us tonight, that there's something they say that you quite disagree, you also come up. I think I've learned a lot. And that's something our sister said. I think our sister Igbo defense, please let her. I will try to ask you so that you give me references. I want to go and read more. I never knew that our women even force themselves that they want to fight, to the extent of dressing in form of a man so that they can be able to go into battle. You understand? So we are fearless, and you can see it in them. Our women. In fact, I think it's an insult to say you are behaving like a woman. It's an insult to our women. You can say to women from other region, no problem. They provide our Biafran women. You can see what our sisters, they even have their own group, women wing, not cooking, preparing also for combat. Disguising themselves to get information. Same it is to our children. So we have a lot. We have a lot to gain if we can be able to calm down, to listen to one another. This is not what you normally see on social media platform. They went into research. They will begin to read, begin to bring documents together, begin to explore materials. Sometimes, it looks as if it's easy. That is why they are very much ready. If you have a question, those of you on Facebook, let me see whether I have you on Facebook. If you have also a question, you can write it down. Let me see on Facebook. Okay. Yes. So 4 cousins that Nigerian soldiers raped during the war. Okay. Yes, I know we have products. Well, also.
Asa wants to say something, if you don't mind.
All right. Yes, I asked before. Asa, you can come in, our sister. Asa, are you there?
I have 2. Good morning.
Yes.
Yeah, hello.
Go on.
I have 2 things to say. The first one is about our women. I think it went into roles. Igbo defense topic. Igbo defense. Do you mind? Have you finished?
No, you were good. There were 2 distinct. I think yours was quite distinct from mine, so I appreciated yours. Thank you.
Okay. I just add, because I think it's very important, because these are roles that were reserved for men culturally. I think even across the world, I think it's about burial. During the war, women, Biafran women, took up that duty and role of burying the dead, because it's a role traditionally done by only men. Under the heavy, bombing and everything, they did everything else, including this one. They washed, they dressed, they wrapped them in cloth. They dug the grave. They performed the traditional rites. They did all the prayer. They did everything they're supposed to do, and they buried the dead because men weren't around. Even the men that were around were in hiding. So another thing I want to talk about is the Asaba massacre. How women suffered. Women and children suffered in Asaba massacre. I don't know if we all know what happened during the Asaba massacre. Let me give a very short history for those of us who might not know. Federal troops entered Asaba, that is the present-day Delta State, the way Nigeria divided it. They deceived our people and told everyone to come out, that come out and shout for Nigeria. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I think that was what happened. To shout one Nigeria. They wore white clothing, to shout one Nigeria. So they shot every male, including children. So how it impacted on women. So all these men who were murdered, who were assassinated, murdered, the children and the wives, they were now husbandless, fatherless. So there were no men in the community anymore. So there were a lot of assaults on our women again. After, there were assaults in the war itself, then this was a different kind of assault specifically by Nigerian soldiers on our women and our girls' children. Assault, I mean grave, not just, that's the kind of assault I'm talking about. So when people tell you that, I don't want to go into that. So there were a lot of rape. Our women had to leave their homes, they walked miles, they really suffered. Women all over Biafra land suffered, but there was a particular type of suffering, where you have thousands of widows left alone with no provider, no protection, no income whatsoever, sexually raped, abused, harassed, assaulted, the soldiers. There was no one to defend them. Then who was doing all this? The soldiers were doing all this, so who would protect them? They were hungry. They also had to bury the dead again. So Biafran women has really been through so much. Some children became orphans then. Those who probably their mother has passed away for other reasons like hunger or illness or anything. The father was also died. So it was kind of a double trauma for the children who lived, for the mothers who were left, husbandless, fatherless. The community was left.
What is going on? Go on, our sister.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the community was left without protection, no men, because in other communities, they know the men will probably come back. But in those communities, they know their men were gone, and they couldn't even stay in that community at that present time. They had to look for other places to go. Where would they have gone? There was war everywhere in their region. So that's about us. I could go on, but I just wanted to add that the suffering of women and children during the war.
All right. Thank you, our sister. Like I said, today is your day. I preserve it today for this the topics, the teachings, and the lectures, and so like our sister said, there's no limited time. Just don't mind me that I'm saying that you people should be snappy, but at least now I think I see someone requesting to come up, maybe to add his own voice. Someone writing on Facebook, yes, yes, yeah, Falcons. That's some said in the north they take our women to be like they are talking to Igbo. Our brother writing, yes, our women have value. There's no doubt about that. Preserved. Yeah. I don't know.
I have a question for Asaduma.
You have a question for her?
Please.
All right, go on, our sister.
Asaduma, you just in terms of your characteristics of the Biafran woman, I'm just wanted a bit more your take on it, because obviously you mentioned the traditional role of them, being mothers, wives, caring for their children. But also the Biafran women were very industrious. They were traders. And how do you think the culture, the Biafran culture, the Igbo culture, Biafran culture, allowed that balance for them to be both sides? And they also had an enormous amount of power through the likes of Umada and so on and so forth. So that's my question. Thank you.
What do you mean? How were they allowed, or the balance, or how were they able to balance it?
Yeah,
is it during the genocide, or?
No, because you talked about the characteristics of the Biafran woman in general, and also within the Biafran war. I just wanted you to elaborate a bit more about that difficult balance that Biafran women have to make of being very demure, homely mothers, wives, but yet they were also traders. They were industrious. So just to talk a bit more about that, if you can. If you can't, that's fine also.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try. During the war, my own mother was a businesswoman. I think I mentioned this in our group when we were chatting. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that. My mother was also a very feminine woman. Now, let me explain feminine, because people tend to confuse the feminism and femininity. Feminine is softness, a woman who is soft and kind. Feminism is, equal women who seek for equal opportunity. And there's nothing wrong with neither. But I'm saying my mother was a very feminine, soft, kind woman. She was also very industrious. At the same time, she was also very strong. She was resilient. She was all that. She was making money. She was supplying goods during the war. My mother, I'm talking about my own mother. There was a story she told us. I can't quite remember the story, but what I remember is she mentioned about Ubonde Nemi, because they were carrying their goods in the boat or something. Then they had to run and hide somewhere. I can't remember. It's a long time ago she told us the story, because they thought the U-boat that was coming belonged to the enemy, but it didn't. It was their own people or whatever they are called. So even today, that role, women are still able to manage and balance that role, being soft, being motherly. Even Chimamanda Adichie is a very feminine woman. She's a feminist at the same time. She's feminine feminist. She's industrious. She's hardworking. I know Chimamanda is kind of an elite in what we're talking about, but even Igbo women who are regular traders, like people who sell things in the market, they are still able to manage all that today. I mean, during that time, during the war. But mind you, in those days, a lot of women weren't that. You didn't have a lot of women who were doing business or highly educated. This was in the 60s. But there were still those who were doing it. I guess it depends on families. But yeah, some people didn't. Even today, some people don't allow their wife to work. So was I able to answer you?
Yeah, and I think it's a very delicate balance of being, obviously, to be a trader, there has to be an element of masculinity that you need to adopt. You need to be able to stand, know about pricing and all those sort of things, be educated, know when to put your price up or put it down. So there's some elements, obviously, they carry the goods there and produce and sell. So there are some elements of, but also they create this wonderful balance of, they will do all that when they come back at home. They're very demure, very traditional. Some of them anyway. They were mothers, wives, and so it was a great balancing act, which they carried out very well, in my opinion. Thank you.
Okay.
I just wanted to add something, Mazi, sorry.
Right.
Just as I said, many of our women were educated. Many of them were nurses and teachers before the war. And there's another reality that I've heard from someone, that there was something like clandestine schools. Like many of them during the war were able to teach children clandestinely
few things, because that time, I don't know if you people know, there was something like the Cambridge School, the Cambridge University. Our people used to take exam after the WAEC or the SSC or O level then, and they will take the Cambridge School, so that if you pass the Cambridge School, you can now come to Cambridge and study. I think on scholarship, something like that. So some, because for the fact that they don't know when the war was gonna finish, some of them who were teachers, we are still putting some of the younger men that did not go for the war through their study process, the educational process, preparing them for this Cambridge. You know? And another thing, there was this other experience of the last bomb that was thrown in Owerri. I call it Owerri, but actually that bomb fell in Emekuku. Not Emekuku, Enyogugu. That bomb, there is a family I know that lost a mother on that day. That was Afinyogugu. It's a big market in MBC. Our women went to trade and they threw a bomb that day. And that day there was a mother that had 8 children. She died on the spot. They could not find her corpse. That's how bad it was. These people were not considering human life at all. They just wanted to make sure that our generation, our existence is shut down. So think about it. A mother losing a mother, and then as a man you have 8 children to feed. That was the last bomb in Owerri. So there are a lot of stories. I think we've never had the opportunity to forget about shouting on social media, but rather make research. Seek for those people who have experienced this thing. Document their confessions and their narrations, so that we can have something to pass through to our future generation. Because if this our young generation don't know anything about their past, they will keep gallivanting on the social media, keep making the same mistakes on the social media. We really need to start speaking about our history, talking about what our women and children has been through. Thank you.
Right.
Yes, please. No, sorry.
I have a question, our sister. Let me just ask a question. I mean, I think I have listened to all you beautiful ladies, mothers, and at the same time aunties have said. I have a question based on the role our women played. Do you think that some of these good things and resilient characters we have seen, I mean, in all the analysis stated, do you think if such a thing repeats itself again, we'll have the calibers of such women in this present condition?
No doubt.
You said?
No doubt, of course.
Hold on. I'm coming. Yes. Why do you think? Why? So you mean that nothing have changed since that time till now in terms of their, resilience, in terms of their doggedness? I'm not talking about. I know we have few individuals. You cannot. I mean, in their numbers, just like what you were mentioning, they said they have even a group, and even when they said they should not, they still insisted that they want to be part of it.
Sorry, go. So they formed the Biafran Women Front as an organization to demand the rights to. But before then, they were also getting involved. Mm-hmm. The Biafran Women Front was created in 1969, so we're talking about towards the end of the war. But they were partaking. They insisted they must fight. I mean, the example I gave you, one woman said, "You've destroyed my whole family. You've unalived my husband and my 2 children. I have nothing else left." And so if you think about the instinct of women as a whole, as mothers, a woman can be as nice as she wants. The minute you go near her children, every sort of animal will come out for her to defend her children. And at that point, Biafra is our legacy. It's our land. It is the thing that we fight for our children's sake. So even if, no matter how spoiled we are, and I think us being spoiled is generational. I think it's the entire generation worldwide. Some of us have not been in conflict for a long time, so we got used to it. But I think that the history, the bravery, I think that's inbuilt in us. And you can see that from just the Ekumeku War, the Biafran landing. This is something that is innate in us. It is inherent. It's who we are. Any situation that comes out and we need will come out in force. Okay, sorry, go on.
Okay. Let me try to disagree with you a bit. I have been at home. I think two times I've been at home. I used to go to a place called Amaosa, where they sell things. You see them, sometimes even they are not selling our bead, these Igbo beads, Igbo caps. They are saying, I see how our women are trooping. Our women are now too infected with this Alhaji. I have a friend with Alhaji. In fact, having a friend with Alhaji now makes you, a kind of outstanding. But which I know, such a thing does not exist before. You understand, our sister? So on that basis,
you might have to explain what a friend with Alhaji means. I don't know what that means.
Okay, I can explain. I can explain. What it meant in that context is if you are now closer to Alhaji, number one, they see them as people who can be able to give them money they needed. Alhaji means you have upper hand. You are dining with the people they call Alhaji, which are those people that do the change. Yes, in nature, I do see them around there. So on that note, I'm saying that such a thing, does it exist before? If I should put it in that as a... Yes, our sister.
I understand what you're saying, but we can never judge them based on what they're doing today. Sometimes you need violence to give you a little bit of common sense. Sometimes experiences awaken the person that you are. On this social media, I've had an opportunity of, observing a lot of Biafran women, even those that don't believe in Biafra, that are just, I can say, my fellow Igbo women. I've observed a lot of them, and you can see the potentials in them. We can never say what they will do until that thing comes on their doorstep. Then you see them standing up for what they believe in. That is why sometimes when people say, I don't believe in Biafra, I don't even bother about that. Because I know that when it starts, that person might be the first person to be in the war front. So considering the level and the potentials of our women on this social media, no matter what they are discussing, no matter what they are saying, I know that once that essence of child, family is touched, they will stand up. And they will fight fearlessly.
Okay. You that are on YouTube, please.
Oh, sorry, Nacho. Let me answer that question.
Yes, I will give you a chance to answer. I just want to announce you have been asking questions on YouTube. Your name is it Obione? You can request and come in. There's a place you can request on YouTube. Follow the link. I will paste the link there now. Just log in, ask your questions. I don't want you to stay there and be asking us every time we are complaining. These are the things that made us to throw people inside the dustbin. You have an opportunity here, and I've been shouting. If you have any question to ask, come in. Instead of you to stay there and complain. You are also a human being. You have also something in you that can begin to usher it out. Maybe it will be the solution. Instead of asking us what is the solution. Go on, our sister.
Okay, I want to agree with Sister Chizzy, yes? But I'm going to use your word. You keep saying that what will make Nigerian youth to move is calamity.
Yes.
And war is calamity. So the same principle will apply to the Biafran women. Those ones that you do not feel, living up to their purpose at the present time. If the calamity of war comes up, everyone will stand tall and stand still and stand strong. Because it's either that or your life. There's no choice. You can't say, oh, I don't believe in Biafra. If it comes to your area, you don't have any choice. Oh, sorry, I think I'm screaming.
Sister, win. You want the first win, yes. Oh, calamity be Haman aga hapala haji. It's okay. It's okay, our sister. I think it's quite understanding. I mean, yes, because everybody's finding things easy now. People are just struggling to survive. Even our own men that are here on the social media looking for who to blackmail. And I believe when it's also start, they have no choice than to defend themselves. Some will try to sell information. They only want at the process, and they will still have no choice other than to push in. Just like it is happening to our Yoruba brothers today. Yesterday they were mocking at us. Today they are now beginning to a kind of. I see one of the teacher. We are human being. I know some of you will not like it. I saw her face with tears. I felt bad. She's a teacher, and I hear that she's about to retire. And such a thing happened to her. Now, the military, we are warned not to come. Nigerian military, they don't have intelligence. The one they have is foreigners. They want to use force to go inside the bush, knowing fully well that children are involved, women are involved. And this will give them warning that if they enter into the bush again, the same way they want to enter, they will finish everybody. That they should do what is being asked. And now, very dark man is want to take it upon himself again for people to donate money so that they can be able to go and release them. I know our lovely sister Sadema would love to have such as a topic because I'm beginning to see that young man, this is not his job. I don't know why he want to volunteer himself to contribute money for the whole country to go. And the money is there. Government have the money. Instead of us to go to meet the government and say, Oga, you have money and you keeping it for election. Bring them out where they are. And now you want to come and tax innocent souls so that we'll see you as a Messiah. At the end of the day, the aim will not be achieved. What if you do it now? You become a business venture for those others. They'll kidnap and look and wait for you to come and call the citizen to contribute money again. So let me leave it unless you have other things to add up. I think I have somebody coming up here. Ruth, you are the question.
Can I say something about, not about that man? No,
yeah, go on.
About our topic.
Yeah, go on.
The question you asked, if we still have such women today.
No, I didn't see if we have such women. I said that number of people in general. I'm not talking about we have them now. Are people not here? Are people not women? I'm talking about how it was then. Do you think it's the same now?
Yeah, but do you think we have the same men?
No,
today?
At all. No, our sister. What we have now is worse than what we had before.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, you think we're exceptional? We are not exceptional, our sister. Our own is even worse.
You worry me. You know why you will not have women in their numbers today? It's because you don't have men in their numbers today.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have for us the mama, as a class for us.
Go on. Yes.
So, because men, I'm gonna say it as this, because men are the custodian of, especially Igbo society. Yeah, they have not stood up to their responsibilities. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
That is why I continue to say it. That's why I respect IPOB members. You know why? Including those who live abroad. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu lived in the UK or was in the UK and saw that he thought about it that I could take this home. My home could be better than this place actually because we have more, including in what do you call it? Natural resources and our brain. We are actually stronger. So our place could be better than this place. So he called, and these men answered. Who are those men? You guys. But we have many Igbo men who come on social media, in real life, on the streets, mounting off, talking a lot of rubbish. They don't want to fix their home. They ran to a place built by other men. They're there ranting. How good those women are, they have forsaken their own women. So the reason you will not have a good number of women, or a decent number of women to fight, what your question is, because the men are not there. They have not risen up, they have not done their duty. So thank you, Mazen Nambikano. In extension, thank you to you guys as well. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I think we'll have a guest here. Gosife, I think, and Nigeria. You have a question to our sister, so you wanna? Are you there? Are you there, our brother? Yes, go on. Your network is also wobbling. Your network is not steady.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, go on. I hope you can minimize the noise from your background. Okay, let's go here.
Okay, just give me a minute. Right.
Hold on.
Your village. You are the first bandit Nigeria ever produced. Decisions you
okay, our brother, are you there now?
Nigeria until today.
Yeah, go on. Yes, go on.
Nigeria, first bandit. You light up.
All right, thank you. My network is a bit shitty. Making time to hold this program and to sensitize our people. It is something quite incredible. I just wanted to quickly, there was something Asadema said, very, very intelligent. Asadema, thank you for raising that question. You see, we've talked about the role of men in societies and what men are expected to do in their society.
Sorry, go on.
Yes, we've also talked about, we've also extensively talked about why it is necessary that men invest their energy, invest their whole being, their whole existence in their society. And the resultant effect of that, how that tells off on other people like the women, the children, how that inspires the women and children. Now, Asadema raised a question, she said, do you think we have men in that caliber, men with that type of mindset? And then she was able to recognize what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu did that's made all of us to come together. That is why Mazen Nnamdi Kanu cannot be tampered with. It doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter. You don't understand the consciousness. The consciousness that man brings, it is something that is uncontestable. Like it cannot be disputed. People don't realize today, realities of today. Go to Twitter, not Twitter, Instagram. Most of the videos on Instagram, and watch the number of comments there. These are coming from Nigerians, and most especially Igbo women. Their eyes are shocked to their bones. And once you read those comments, you will understand that the message is permeating. It might not seem very visible, but it is permeating. We're not going to, because we feel that people are becoming aware and then we rest on our laurels. No, we are going to continue to project the message. But the point here is the men, Methuselah, you said yes. I don't think we have that caliber of men. No, we don't. But you see, the awareness of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is doing something unseen inside almost all of us. That is why it is necessary. That awareness is necessary, and the realities of today, this calamity that we're praying for, is also necessary. Doesn't matter how you see it. It might be so wrong. It might be so bad. It is an awakening. However it's just like when Pope, you remember when our leader used to talk in 2013, 2014, he said, force them to be discussing Biafra, even though they're saying bad things about Biafra. It doesn't matter. Let your enemy be talking about Biafra, whether in good faith or in bad faith. It is you are raising the awareness. That was when I knew that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is too intelligent. So it does not matter. This calamity that is visiting everybody, as you can see, there are people that are feeling the heat more than the rest. So it is waking. Some of them are some of them, you know how some of them are naturally wicked. They will go dumb. They won't speak. They are facing the reality, but they can't speak because of the bad they spoke in the past. So they just cannot speak. So in response to what our sister said, it is going to be hard to find those caliber of men. But however, the work of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, there is no option than to people to see that, listen, if you don't do anything, your land will be eroded. Your land will be you lose your land. The land that was handed over to you by your ancestors in your own generation, you will let that slide into the enemy's hands. So again, it still would not change. It still would not change the fact that most men, the lifestyle we have today, the ability for people to get visa, the ability for people to get citizenship, these things has effects on how people respond to stimulus happening in their environment. Because once people, you know how once they give you citizenship in foreign country, it buys your allegiance. There is something it does to you. Now, only white people understands this thing. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu understands it as deep as white people. That once people are given citizenship, if you're talking anything about how you fix their land, some of them will be feeling nonchalant. It doesn't matter. It's not my business. So if that land is getting desecrated, let it. This is the mindset. So these are the things that are fighting against us. And again, we have to be very, very, very thankful to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Just like our sister said, we are going to be very grateful, and we are also going to be very grateful to men and women that responded to the call that he made. And we will continue to respond. We are going to be far more deadly when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out. We're going to do everything to ensure that he comes out. And once he comes out, we're going to be far more deadly, because you can see the reality. He's waking people up, and then people are seeing that there is no other choice. There is no other choice. So once Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out, we are going to be far more. The amount of the enthusiasm that we have, the belief that we have in our land will be more emboldened when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out. But again, thank you, our sister, for raising that very comment. Men are responsible for raising the awareness of their society, or awareness in their society. Men are responsible for inspiring women. It is your job. Women have a lot to go through. Men have to inspire women. Women have to see reason to have to do this thing. And it is men that inspires them. So if men become very lazy, that is why we don't want our men to be engaging. See all this behavior, all this behavior of Yoruba people. When we see our men engaging in those behaviors, it's disturbing to listen to or to watch. These are not who we are. We are being admired because of the values that we've created as a people. And these values are continuing to be desecrated by living in Nigeria. So when we see our men engaging in behaviors of all this type of behavior, it's disturbing, because it's weakens who you are. And over time, these people that used to see you as God, because all these Nigerian people, they should go to Instagram and see how they see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as God. These are Nigerians. These people see us as God because we see things far ahead of them. When we talk about issues, or when we engage issues practically, these people can't see our back. That's why they can't let us go. They know that if you leave these people, if you leave them, they will give us miles ahead. They will be miles ahead compared to where we are. And the world will see the gap. That is why all of these cockroaches are screaming, dancing around. So we are not the same with these people, and we want our people to understand it. And the more you see how Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came, and he inspired all of us here. So you see how much inspired that we are. It is Martin Namkano that did it. This is how we grew as a people. We rub off against each other and we grew in intellect. We grew in how to solve problems. We grew in how to recognize issues. We grew in how to also solve issues. That is how we grew. These other people don't have the same people. They don't have the same quality, the same value. They don't have the same instinct. All these people from Numukokuchi, all this minority Yoruba, all this Homo, Binimukuku. I don't know where these people come from. Manzi, I'll hold it here.
All right. Thank you, brother. Yeah, just 1 minute. I will return back. Yes.
I have a question for Nigeria.
All right.
Sorry, go on. When you finish, I'll come back to my question for him.
Okay. Just let me just take a cup of water.
Nigeria,
First bandits.
General Yakubu Gowon. Nigeria, first bandit. The 32-year-old accidental leader. You lied about Aburi Accord. Everything else in your book is a lie. In your book, if you lied about Aburi, that you were having malaria and did not know what you signed, then everything else must be all lies.
You claim to be a Christian. You waited till Ojuku is dead and started talking and started lying. You can't redeem your legacy with lies.
You lied that most the bullets and most bombs from the Nigerian army hit the palm trees and not human beings. Asaba massacre, people dressed in white.
They're the palm trees.
Women and children in the market square, they are palm trees.
Right?
Your book belongs to the dustbin.
Trash bin.
Nigeria problems today.
Credit to you.
Hey. General Yakubu Gowon, you cannot redeem
Your legacy with lies.
today. I told it, you live in Britain.
I told it.
And not in your one Nigeria that you murdered for.
Killed for. Ego genocide. Ego Holocaust.
Africa.
First bandits.
When was the last time you visited your village? You are the first bandit Nigeria ever produced.
Decisions you made destroyed Nigeria until today. General Yakubu Gowon.
Nigeria,
First bandits. You lied about Aburi Accord.
you were suffering malaria and did not understand what was discussed.
Everything else in your book must be all lies.
When you get to heaven, if you ever get there, God will ask you why you lied and told it.
Old man, God kept you alive for a reason, but you have failed to repent.
The hottest
Hottest.
part of hellfire has been prepared for you.
He say,
No peace and happiness for you.
not at all.
Amen.
Amen.
Ojuku will be fanning your hellfire.
Adding fuel to firewood.
Nigeria,
First bandit. Asaba people dressed in white are palm trees.
Nigeria,
First bandit.
2 million children starved to die.
Died are palm trees.
Africa,
First bandits.
God kept you alive for a reason, but you have failed to repent.
General Yakubu Gowon.
You cannot redeem
Your legacy with lies.
Ojuku will be fanning your hellfire.
Adding fuel to firewood.
Asaba people,
Palm trees.
Nigeria,
First bandits.
you will live to see
Nigeria set
Yes, that makes sense. Just apologies. Might be a bit noisy in the background of this song.
Missing you back. Serious sound from the lovers rhythm. Me call your phone but you not answer. Me heart a race, me can't control the pressure. Me sit down alone, the night feel long. Everything remind me say you gone.
Okay, let me speak to the voice of our leader when you are informing our brother. This is what is going on now.
One touch from you didn't make me feel so right. Tell me they are lost every single night.
When you hear
Oh, me blinded by your love. Me can't see straight. Me can't think of nothing else.
that I embezzle, I will
me blinded by
I will resign. And I want to,
only you can save me from myself. Me heart a burn, me can't sleep at all. Me wait for you to call. Ooh, me blinded by your love. Come back to me.
When I hear you say,
me blinded by your love. Me try to move on, go out from the scene, but every time me turn, me see your face in my dream. The music I play, but the rhythm feel wrong. Without you, yeah, the whole night too long. Me hold the pillow tight like it was you. Me whisper your name like you're coming through. This love too strong, me can't let it go. Me still a hold on even if you don't know. Ooh, me blinded by your love. Me can't see straight, me can't think of nothing else. Ooh, me blinded by your love. Only you can save me from myself. Me heart a burn, me can't sleep at all. Me wait for you to call. Ooh, me blinded by your love. Come back to me.
That's the declaration.
Love blind me bad. Make me walk round like me gone mad. Every day me think of you. Me not find peace till you come true.
Hope we end it today. Or do we have any other thing ahead? After that, any other program? Oh, sorry.
Me can't see straight. Me can't think of nothing else.
Yeah, I want to do the
only you can save me from myself. Me heart a burn, me can't sleep at all. Me wait for you to call. Oh, me blind.
After today, I want to hear that one of the
come back to me.
One of the best. You are not listening.
Blinded by your love. Blinded by your love.
It's not helpful.
Still waiting. Serious song.
Our brother, and are you back? If you're back, you can unmute yourself. And if not, then I think just have a closing remarks. Okay, go on.
Recuerda sus nombres. Los hijos de la promesa de libertad.
Just let's go closing remarks. I'll be descending. I'm happy that I've learned a lot. Like I said, I'm coming to you for you to. I want to. I'm hearing it for the first time. I never knew. I was thinking about women are just crying. From the video we have seen.
Después de que terminó la guerra civil, la libertad llegó, pero no la paz. Las cadenas se fueron, pero el dolor quedó. La justicia aún seguía negando alivio. Desde las sombras de la opresión se levantaron hombres valientes y fuertes. Les dieron armas para luchar por la libertad.
even though that even if I finish it, I think this is one and the body I have now the
Recuerden a los soldados búfalo, recuerden sus nombres. Luchando por un futuro.
Yeah, are you there? Are you there? This is the one. You know this target man. Whether this target man can be able to improve your mind, go and read it. This target man has been a reason of we are preparing for target man. Now has they said today is the beginning of the month. Okay, you are here. Okay, go on.
Yes. Y rutas de carretas, manteniendo el peligro lejos. La historia trató de esconder su historia, pero la verdad encontrará su camino. Recuerden a los soldados búfalos.
About how Igbo men are framed by design. You see all these mpako, odogu. These things makes them feel important about themselves. Now, one of the ways that we are going to inspire our children to also stand up for their society, to also be more involved in their society, in safeguarding their society, in protecting their societal value until Biafra comes, is by reminding them what men and women, not the people of today, both just men and women of the past, our ancestors, our forebears, telling them these are the things that they did. These are the amount of sacrifices that they did that made us to retain our society. Do you know what we faced as a people? We faced carnage. We faced one of the worst destruction, human destruction on the planet. You go and listen to some Irish men. What went on in Biafra is indescribable. So for us to be able to bounce back, because in the entire 3 years that we were fighting the British, the Russian, the Egyptian pilots, all of these people and the Arab world, Nigerian people were going to school. If you read There Was a Country, you can understand exactly what happened to us. There was normal life in Nigeria. People were going to market, going to school, doing this thing for 3 years that we were being decimated by bombs made by all of these people. So what that tells you, and after that, we bounce back, and these people are envying us. They are using policy since 1960s, since 1970. They've been using policy to set us back, to make us not progress, to demoralize us, to make sure that we are destroyed as a people. Now, for us to be able to break through that resilience and through that resistance, that tells you that there is something. Now, and we're not going to rely on the fact that we are really resilient. There's only so far a man can be stretched, because we're human beings. There's only so far. This whole idea that, Aibo Dogu, we will survive. Oh boy, there is only so much. The more people travel abroad, the more they lose the instinct to protect their land, the more they lose the instinct to protect their women. They will care less. All of these things are factors that will work together against our values and against who we are. So the easiest way is to let them know what women did in the past. Let them know what men stood for. There is a man called Timothy Onwatuegu. Our leader always talk about that man. When I read about this man, Timothy Onwatuegu, I think he's from Abagana. This man is one of the finest soldiers in history, in the history of our people. These are the people that they need to understand. So children need to see. That's why when a child goes to school in London, in the UK, Australia, in the classroom, that child is not inspired. That's why most child abroad, and apart from America, where Black Americans are, Igbo children tends to do well. The Igbo children born in Norway, Australia, all these places, once they go to classroom, a teacher teaching history, they will be teaching history of how American people, how that country conquered, how they fought. The child doesn't see his ancestor in the entire history class. In the entire story the teacher is telling, the teacher doesn't look like him. That child doesn't become inspired to become anything. They'll come out and then do one certificate and want to do administrative work. So these are some of the things that are killing our people, that our people just don't understand. So they need to be told about what their ancestors did, what men and women did in our land, and then they need to be told about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The children of today need to be told about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and told about what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is able to do to galvanize men. What Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did, nobody can do it in the entire of Africa to galvanize men, not anything that has to do with politics. Are political. To be able to galvanize women and men, are political, outside of politics. That is impressive. That is incredible. So these are the things that inspires younger children. These are the things that gives them a sense of purpose. It reminds them that, listen, you have a generation. This generation will go. It will be your turn. So it is your turn to protect the values of your people. These are who your people are. These are the resilience. This is who they are. These are the things that need to be told to children. They need to be hammered into their head often and on. These children will grow up and then begin to build that sense of responsibility to want to do something for in their land and where they come from, to protect their heritage. So I think that's the best way, man. Apart from, because we have a lot of things, social media, we have a lot of distractions, but they need to be told about women. They need to be told about about men and all the things that they did. These are the things that build sense of. I became very inspired when I read Because I'm Involved, Ojukwu wrote. I read that book in 2008. That was the first book I read, 2008, 2007, Because I'm Involved. And then I went ahead to read Emeka, written by Frederick Forsyth, that British journalist, BBC British journalist. When I read this book inspired me, and then I began to delve into other areas, and then I began to understand what our people did and what's currently happening before I discovered Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But that's one way I feel we could do it, our sister. Thank you.
Our sister, did you understand the explanation he gave, or do you have something to add?
Yes. No, I understand it. So I think it comes down to education, essentially. Yeah, I understand his point. Thank you.
Okay. In the absence of that, do you have any other thing you are missing before we go to the closing remark? Because I will have a short broadcast. I wouldn't want to add this thing together. This is a very sound program we've had. We are recording it here on YouTube and Facebook, and this is not our normal fight we used to have. So I want to make sure we end this program, then I'll open your life again, where we have, like, even if it's 1 hour program, to dwell in what happened today and what were also the Sokoto Declaration we've had, and some of our people that also went out today, to those are also who we are also at home, our brothers in homeland, and those in diaspora who also went out today. We can discuss about it, and at the same time, what we'll be seeing from now onwards. And I also have a clip of those who said Biafrans have agreed that the struggle will now be chaired over by DOS. The Biafra have voted and said that the struggle is now under the leadership of DOS. And so let us know where they made that vote, whether they want to take the pattern of the people they castigated in the past, who said they voted in Finland, and then they have had a mandate. Biafra are giving them a mandate. I don't know whether I didn't vote. Those of you that said that will say that is now DOS. I didn't vote. So yes, the YouTube channel, just type Methuselah 1. And let's close. Let's close. Yes. Let's end.
Have a lot in our hands.
All right. I think in the absence of that, let's just from Avin, our sister, just even if it's 1 minute closing remark, let's go.
Mazi, please start with us. She needs to attend to some things.
All right. Asadema, go on. As you just finished, then we now call it a day.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. I already prepared my closing remark, but I forgot to talk about women's riots, but this is my closing remark.
Okay.
I'm not going to miss it. I'm just going to read everything. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mazi Metu, for hosting us. And thank you, Sister Chizzy, for organizing this. It was actually Sister Chizzy that organized it all and brought us together. And thank you, Mazi Metu, for designing the whole stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alvin, for being part of it. Thank you, Igbo Defense, for defending in Igbo. And thank you, and Nigeria, for your contribution. Now, my closing remark in conclusion. I said Biafran women, they are the true soul and strength of a land. They made history with the famous Aba Women's Riots. Like I said, I couldn't find the paper, so I didn't include it in my listing. Aba Women's protests in 1929, rising up in great numbers through the night and day to demand for justice, equality, and freedom, refusing to be silent or oppressed. They showed some fearless spirit during this war. During the Biafran genocide, we remember Matilda, who vowed that she would fight even with a baby in her womb, saying, "We will never go back to Nigeria." It's a very famous short video. Even if I have trouble or pain, then even if I have a baby in my tummy, even the Asaba massacre, the terrible pains Biafran women went through during the Asaba massacre, where they were tricked, watched their men, husbands, fathers, died, left them widowed and homeless and suffering. They never lost their dignity or courage. They were leaders, warriors, protectors, heroines who sacrificed the legacy, and it lives on forever and ever. We honor them and thank you to all of them. Thank you, everyone. Sorry, I have to go.
All right, thank you, our sister. Let's go to Igbo Defense.
Oh, thank you. My closing remark is much more to bring him back. I know we focus more on the women today, but I want to use the opportunity to also honor our men. They fought gallantly, I can't even speak. And I don't want their story to also be forgotten. The reason we focus on the women is because women are rarely raised up in these sort of discussions, not in great depth anyway. One of the issues that we found, like Sister Chizzy or Asadim, I can't remember who said, was during our research, there wasn't much to get the information from. So I would like to use this opportunity to ask the IPOB, under the leadership of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to please, let's go into research and write a bit more about the women's participation. That's it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mazi.
Thank you,
Metu, for hosting us and all the help that you've given. And also just for fighting for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu overall, waking us up.
Thank you.
And thank you, my sisters, Alvin, Sister Chizzy, Asadema. I love you all. And thank you, Mazi and Nigeria. I love you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, our sister. Now let's go to Alvin. If you are not ready, then I go to Chizzy, our sister Chizzy. Go on. Okay, Alvin is now ready.
I'm here.
All right, go on. Yes.
Okay. I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Mazi Meto, for gathering us in your platform this evening. Even though I did not complete my things that I researched, but I'll take these few minutes to just say it quick.
All right.
So, me talking about the Biafran children, what they passed through and what they went through the Biafran war. There are some memories. Some of them put down some books of memories, what they passed through, where we can find some of the things, like from Mimi Waribuku and Theophilus Chukwuemeka Amadi. They put on things, what they passed through in the Biafran war. And in half of the Yellow Song by Chima Amanda, there are things that he wrote down there, what Biafran children passed through. They even put it in movie. You can watch and understand what passed through, what our Biafran children passed through the war. Even some of them ate grasses and roots just to survive the war. So we have so many books where we can read and see what our children passed through. There are so many books like Through the Eyes of the Child, the Nigerian Civil War. So many of them are there. So one thing I want to say, when we are growing, our fathers did not tell us anything. Most of our fathers did not tell us stories about Biafran War. We didn't know anything about Biafran War. Most of us, I know that some people might heard from their own parents. My father went to Biafran War, but never told us anything about Biafran War. So it is good we that are growing would let us start telling our children what happened in Biafran War so that they will have it in their mind and know who they are, what their parents, their grandfather passed through the war. So I thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Damazi Metu. Thank you, Sister Cheese. You both defend my sisters. I answered them Monday. Thank you for having me.
All right.
I guess it's my turn now.
Yes, yes.
So I want to greet and thank in a special way my sisters, Igbo Defense, Alvin, Asadema. I really thank you all for your time. I mean, this is something we thought about a few days ago, and you were able to make it in a very, very wonderful way. I really appreciate your support, your love, and the tenacity you put in making things move forward. I appreciate each and every one of you. Mazimeto, thank you so, so much for supporting us. I mean, we told you and you said, I'm going to do it. Within 5 minutes, everything has been done. We appreciate you for that. And every other person listening to us, I'm so, so grateful and thankful that you found that you find a little moment of your life to listen to something positive, not lamentations or curses or saga. Just listened to understand, to get something positive for the future generation. And Mazi, I'm thinking of creating a Facebook account where we can collect stories of Biafran women. So when I succeed in doing that, I'll put it online so that those stories we are getting from our parents, we can actually send it anonymously. You don't need to mention name, anonymously, and we can, start taking this movement further. Because I think this Biafran struggle is something that concerns each and every one of us. It's not limited to one group or one person, where this person can talk about it and the other person can't talk about it. Everybody must talk about it. Because every family in Biafra land, especially Anibo, lost someone dear, someone they care for, and they have the right to speak about it. So I think this is what I was inspired. I am inspired to do, and I'm gonna try as little as I can to make it work. With God on my side, and obviously with the support of people that can help. So thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keep remembering our loved ones.
All right.
Keep remembering them.
Thank you. Thank you, our sisters. What we just have here is an array of our women who just share the occasion of today being 30th May of 30th May celebration, or rather remembrance of our fallen heroes, those who died for us to live. I'm gonna disengage on Facebook. I want to thank you, and also on YouTube for also being part of the show. And at the same time, I hope you had your days today. Those of you that went out to protest, those of you that also went out, stay at home, honoring our fallen heroes and heroines, and some of us that are on social media, is a division of labor. I saw our brothers and sisters who are also praying with their candles. It's also an honor, to remember For this, some people have also put it in a song. I mean, one of them is what you just heard me playing. I'm continuing to play it. Is about Go On and his lies about Aburi Accord. So ich bedanke mich sehr. Ich habe jemand aus Österreich hier gesehen. Ja, also heute ist unsere Erinnerungstag. Das heißt Biafran Genozid. Unsere Leute wir ermordet, geschlachtet und heute ist ein Erinnerungstag für uns und das machen wir hier heute. I thank you many of you who also put your comment. Those of you who cannot also come in, or those who are going to watch later. Remember, those of you on TikTok, we are going to return back in the next 20 minutes or 10 minutes to have 1 hour program, just reflections and commenting on what we had today and moving forward, what we're going to see. And we are ready. Provided it has to do with our struggle and our leader, we are much more ready. In fact, we are much more ready now because what is holding us down, that sometimes if you want to talk, they say, remember that is coming, let's do something so that people will not say, change your profile. No. Now we are much ready. We function when we have calamity. We function very perfectly, I tell you. Without calamity, some of us cannot function. I will don't know how we wage war. We don't know how we make things not going. I get a smooth road for those who can move forward. I clear the road for others to move. I'm not here for collect position. I said it before. I'm not here for position. I'm not a power monger. We want to clear the road for those who have a sincere mind to walk. So I thank all of you. Remember, so much.